Google Pixel 11 Pro leaks are starting to paint a surprisingly detailed picture of Google's next flagship phones. And if this new spec dump is accurate, the Pixel 11 Pro and Pixel 11 Pro XL could deliver major upgrades in the two areas people care about most: the camera system and the display. But there's a twist, because alongside those improvements, the leak also suggests smaller batteries than last year, plus a strange design change that could replace one of the most debated Pixel features in recent history. So in this video, we're breaking down everything that just leaked about the Google Pixel 11 Pro and Pixel 11 Pro XL. The rumored display brightness boost, the camera upgrades, Tensor G6 performance expectations, RAM and storage expectations, the battery capacity drop, and the mysterious new Pixel Glow style RGB LED that could take the place of the thermometer on the camera bar. And, as always with leaks, take everything with caution until Google makes it official. But this one is packed with specifics. According to the leak, which is being credited to the Telegram channel Mystic Leaks, the Google Pixel 11 series will include multiple devices: a base Pixel 11, the Pixel 11 Pro, the Pixel 11 Pro XL, and also the Pixel 11 Pro Fold. The leak claims to reveal extensive specs for the lineup, and today we're focusing specifically on the Pixel 11 Pro and Pixel 11 Pro XL because that's where the biggest upgrades, the biggest questions are showing up. Let's start with the design and display, because if you were expecting Google to shake up screen sizes this year, the leak suggests that's not happening. The Pixel 11 Pro is reportedly codenamed Grizzly, and it's expected to keep the same 6.3-inch display size as the previous generation. The Pixel 11 Pro XL, codenamed Kodiak, is said to keep the 6.8-inch display. So if you like the current Pixel Pro sizing strategy, one compact premium option and one larger XL option, Google appears to be sticking with that formula. Both phones are still rumored to use LTPO OLED panels, which is great news for adaptive refresh rates and power efficiency, especially if Google continues pushing smooth, scrolling gaming performance improvements and always-on display features. But the big headline here is brightness. The Pixel 11 Pro and Pixel 11 Pro 40 are both rumored to hit around 2,450 nits in outdoor conditions. That's the kind of number that immediately targets one of the most common real-world complaints about smartphones: visibility in harsh sunlight. If Google truly delivers that level of peak brightness consistently, it could make the Pixel 11 Pro lineup feel dramatically better outdoors, whether you're navigating, filming video, or just trying to read a message on a bright day. Talk about cameras, because Pixel camera upgrades are always the main event, and this leak suggests Google may be swapping out 2 out of the 3 rear cameras on both Pro models. According to the report, the primary camera and the telephoto camera on the Pixel 11 Pro and Pixel 11 Pro XL are expected to be replaced with newer setups. The leak doesn't provide full module-level details yet, like sensor size or lens specifications. But it does hint at a new 50-megapixel sensor that could be shared across all 3 candy bar models, meaning the Pixel 11, Pixel 11 Pro, and Pixel 11 Pro XL. That is a very interesting direction, because Google has been balancing hardware and computational photography for years. If Google is upgrading the main sensor and the telephoto sensor together, that could translate to improvements in multiple areas at once: sharper zoom, better low light performance, faster shutter response, improved HDR consistency, and potentially better portrait edge, detection, and subject separation. And if the telephoto really is getting upgraded, that could be huge, because telephoto is where flagship phones separate themselves right now. People don't just want a zoom camera. They want a zoom camera that stays sharp, holds detail, and doesn't turn into watercolor. The second the lighting gets difficult. So even without all the details, a primary plus telephoto refresh suggests Google is trying to push the Pixel 11 Pro camera system forward in a meaningful way, not just with minor tweaks. Now here's where the leak gets controversial. Battery sizes. The same leak claims that the Pixel 11 Pro and Pixel 11 Pro 40 could actually ship with smaller batteries than the Pixel 10 Pro and Pixel 10 Pro XL. Undoing a trend of battery upgrades we've seen in recent generations, the rumored Pixel 11 Pro battery size is 4,707 mAh. The rumored Pixel 11 Pro 40 battery size is 5,000 milliamp hours. And yes, those numbers immediately raise eyebrows, especially for the Pixel 11 Pro XL. When you hear XL, you expect a battery that pushes beyond the competition, not a battery that potentially looks conservative on paper. But there is an important detail here. The leak itself notes that these values could represent rated battery capacity rather than the typical or marketing capacity that brands usually advertise. If that's the case, the marketed numbers could end up slightly higher. Still, even with that context, the idea that the Pixel 11 Pro line might go smaller on battery is something people will watch closely. So why would Google do this? There are a few possibilities. Google could be reworking internal space for camera hardware, cooling, or new antenna layouts. Google could also be leaning on efficiency gains from the new Tensor chip to maintain battery life, even with a smaller cell. Or it could simply be a trade-off to keep weight and thickness under controls, especially if the phones are getting brighter displays, improved camera modules, and possibly more advanced internal components. Because remember, brighter displays can consume more power. And better camera hardware plus more advanced processing can also increase load during photography and video. So the key question becomes, even if the battery capacity is smaller, can the Pixel 11 Pro and Pixel 11 Pro XL deliver equal or better real battery life through efficiency improvements? And that takes us straight into the chipset. The Pixel 11 series is said to be powered by the Tensor G6, and this part of the leak lines up with what we've been hearing elsewhere. Tensor G6 could be Google's first 2nm chip. If Google does move Tensor to 2nm, that's not just a spec flex. That's potentially a big shift in performance and efficiency. Two things Tensor has been criticized for compared to other flagship chips. A smaller process node can mean better power efficiency, improved thermals, and more sustained performances. Important for camera processing, on-device AI, video capture, real-time HDR, and all the machine learning features Pixel phones lean on heavily.